Picture someone you know, someone who keeps making the same mistake over and over again, same argument with the same person, same pattern at work, same wall they keep running into, and every time it happens, they genuinely believe this time is going to be different. This time they've got it figured out. You can see it from the outside, that they're not actually changing anything, they're just trying harder at the wrong thing. That's Maul in episodes 3 and 4 of Shadow Lord. He kills the leader of the Pyke Syndicate, survives a police raid, fights 2 Jedi simultaneously, gets away clean, and by the end of Pride and Vengeance, he genuinely believes he's winning. I'm going to show you exactly why he's not, and why that gap between what Maul thinks is happening and what's actually happening is the most human thing about this show. Last week I made a claim about this show saying Maul thinks he's building a weapon for revenge. The Force is using him to dismantle the very thing that made him. He will never know that. That's not a tragedy, that's a myth. Every week I'm going to show you that argument moving forward. This week it moved a lot. Episode 3 is called Whispers in the Unknown, and it opens with a bell tolling. It's right there in the title, and if you're wondering what that bell is, we're at a funeral. Not Devon's death, the funeral of who Devon Izara used to be. Maul is waiting for her, not pacing, not scheming, sitting in a meditative stance, pouring tea. And here's something I want you to hold on to. StarWars.com confirmed this week that the tea he's serving is Cassius tea, the exact same tea that Pre Vizsla introduced to Maul in the Clone Wars. Pre Vizsla, who Maul later killed to take the Darksaber, he is offering Devon a ceremony that belonged to a dead man. That's not warmth. That's the wound dressed up as connection. But here's the read that I want to push on you. The one that most reviewers are getting backwards. Devon escapes her cell. She finds the room. She finds Maul. He offers the tea. They argue and she stays. She had the door. She knew where the exit was. And she chose to stay and argue. Before Maul says a word about her destiny, before he mentions her stolen future, she's already in that room by choice. The whispers in the unknown aren't coming for him. The whispers in the unknown aren't coming from him. They're coming from inside her. And she's already listening before he has said a single word. Now I have to talk about Sam Witwer because this performance is doing something that most reviewers are breezing past. The range in this episode alone, the way he drops to almost a whisper when Devon picks up the lightsaber, then coils back into something dangerous when she pushes back. You feel the power in the restraint. You feel the presence in the quiet. Filoni said when he was casting this, he wanted someone who understood the gravity of bringing Maul back, who would go all in. Brad Rao confirmed in the StarWars.com behind the scenes feature this week that Witwer drew Maul's markings on his own face during animation reference sessions at Lucasfilm. Rao said, and I'm quoting directly, "He has no hesitation. He's fearless, perfectly Maul all the time." You hear that in every line of episode 3. Witwer is a gift to Star Wars, and we have been unwrapping him for years. And then Maul says her name, Devon, without her ever telling him. That is the crack. Not the tea, not the philosophical argument, not the lightsaber duel that follows. It's 3 syllables. And suddenly he knows something about her that her own Jedi Order, the institution she gave everything to, never bothered to find out. That she can be seen, that she matters enough to be known. Maul weaponizes that, but you can't weaponize something that wasn't real. The lightsaber fight that follows is one of my favorite sequences so far, and there's a detail here that's worth catching. Devon isn't stealing Maul's entire lightsaber, she just steals half of it. We all know that he has a double-bladed lightsaber. We get to see that more in action in episode 4. What she grabs is one half. When she swings at him, she's fighting him with a piece of himself, and her fighting style shows the conflict. She switches between offensive and defensive forms because she genuinely doesn't know which one she is right now, a person of peace or a creature of anger. Maul already knows the answer. He's just waiting for her to catch up. And then that sequence where Maul is like disappearing behind her, Batman style. Every time she looks in the shadows, he's gone. Man, I love that. The way that they animated that, the way that it plays out in the script. Because earlier in the same episode, Daki does the exact same thing. 2 fully trained Force users, one dark side, one light side. Both vanish into shadow like they were never there. The show is telling you something Devon doesn't know yet. The man she's running from and the man she's running to have more in common than either of them would admit. I noticed Holophile said in their review that after 4 episodes, the show is still finding its footing and hasn't arrived at its real hook. I can understand that read, but I think it misses what the hook already is. It's not Maul versus the Pykes. It's not the Empire arriving. The hook is whether Maul can do something Palpatine never could, build a genuine connection without destroying it. And episode 3 is the first episode where you actually believe he might. Now, episode 4 is called Pride and Vengeance, and it delivers on both. The Pyke Syndicate scene on Obadiah is exactly what this show needed. Maul emerging from the shadows bathed in red light, using the Force to kill from a distance, combining his saber halves and cutting through the room like the difficulty setting doesn't apply to him. And if you've seen Solo, a Star Wars story, you know this moment matters beyond the action. By the time of Solo, Maul controls all 5 major criminal syndicates. Episode 4 shows you the first domino falling. This is how it starts, not with armies or fleets, with a single calculated entrance into a room that was already afraid of him. But the best scene in episode 4, maybe the best scene of the entire series so far, happens before a single lightsaber is drawn. Maul and Daki face each other over on a balcony, and they actually argue. Maul tells him his unwillingness to use his full power is what makes him weak. Daki holds his ground. Most powerful is he who controls his own power. That's the Jedi way. And Devin is standing right there, listening to both of them. The show is doing something smart here that isn't getting enough credit. It's not presenting Maul as wrong. His argument has real internal logic. The Jedi are in hiding. The Empire is rising. The Order is gone, and its survivors are eating stolen fruit in alleyways. From where Devin is standing, Maul's case is not crazy. The show would be boring if it was. And the fact that Devin's face doesn't fully disagree with him, that's not a character flaw. That's the most honest thing that the show has done. And then the lightsabers come out and the animation delivers. What I love about how Maul fights in this sequence is the difference in how he treats each opponent. With Devin, he toys. With Daki, he roars. Because Daki is the obstacle between him and the thing he actually wants. And then Daki goes for his mechanical knee and Maul loses it. That leg is everything. It's the permanent reminder of Obi-Wan, of Naboo, of the day his destiny was cut in half. When Daki attacks it, he isn't just attacking Maul's body, he's attacking the wound. And we see in Maul's rage, in that moment, it's not power, it's exposure. And let's talk about that deal. Maul offers Lawson a real arrangement. Let him operate quietly on Janix, he keeps the peace, citizens stay safe, the Empire stays away. And some critics are reading this as pure manipulation, but Maul has kept his word before. Filoni has even said it. Maul always offers truths, and among those truths are lies. The deal is real. The agenda underneath it is real too. Lawson disagrees. Lawson turns it down on principle. And I think he's right, because the moment you accept that power determines who gets protection. You've already become what the Empire is. Lawson knows that. He won't become that even when it costs him. And Two Boots calls the Empire anyway at the end. But here's the thing about Two Boots. He's not a villain. He is the most honest character in these 4 episodes. He follows his programming. He does exactly what he is built to do. And the result is catastrophic. Both Maul and Two Boots are making internally logical cases that lead to the same outcome. The Empire wins, one through chaos, one through protocol. Different paths, same destination. That is this show's scariest idea. That Star Destroyer over Janix, the Imperial March swelling. I don't care how many times you've seen a Star Destroyer in Star Wars. That ending shot, that cliffhanger scene almost, it landed because you know what it means. The Empire doesn't come to help, it comes to stay. Here's the thing that I could not stop thinking about after watching these 2 episodes. Maul melted his own ship before arriving on Janix. Last page of the prequel comic, which you should be reading right now. Issue 2, he orders it destroyed, looks straight ahead and says, "No one can know I'm here until it's too late." He built his entire plan around invisibility, around being the shadow that nobody sees coming. By the end of episode 4, there's a Star Destroyer over Janix. Not because of anything Maul did, because a droid followed its programming. Through a door Maul didn't know existed. He thinks he's the one pulling the strings. The Force has been pulling his strings the whole time. And the cruelest part, the part that makes this a myth and not just a tragedy, is that everything he's building right now, this criminal empire he thinks is the weapon for revenge, it will outlast him. It will matter in ways he will never live to understand. He dies on Tatooine grateful it's finally over, never knowing. Episodes 5 and 6 are called Inquisition and Night of the Hunt. The Empire is on Janix now, and I genuinely have no idea how Maul gets out of this one. I'll be here next Monday to find out with you. If you've been watching Shadow Lord, drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you buying what the show is selling? And if you've been reading the Shadow of Maul prequel comic, I really want to know, do you think Percy is adding to the story, or is this just marketing? Hit subscribe, and I'll see you next week.